You're watching the ABC international coverage of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, North America edition. I'm Anna Kui. Filipinos known for their resilience have a saying, life is like a wheel. Sometimes you're on top, and other times you're on the bottom. But what happens when life feels more like a roller coaster ride, filled with quick turns, scary uphill climbs, and gut-wrenching drops? Well, it depends a lot on how a family chooses to face the ride. Take a look.
Happy birthday to you!
It's a familiar scene to most of us. Different faces, different ages maybe, but still, who can't break a smile when looking at the joy on a kid's face when celebrating his birthday? But for Isaac, celebrating his 7th birthday would mark one of the last truly carefree moments of his remarkable life. His parents, Ryan and Alona Bondoc, will tell you that their lives were just like everyone else's, filled with ups and downs, challenges and blessings. But nothing could prepare them for the roller coaster ride their lives would become. On November 19th of 2018, Isaac was admitted to the hospital. After many tests and theories and discussions, the doctors confirmed Isaac was in acute liver failure, but they could not figure out why his liver was failing. His health had declined so quickly, he was moved to the top of the UNIS transplant list a week after Thanksgiving. While the family tried to make things easier for little Isaac, Alona remembers feeling trapped. Isaac needed a new liver, but she simply could not wish or pray for someone else to suffer or die to save her son. Ryan recalls medical options, recommendations, and plans changing constantly, stating,
"We lived our lives in like 4-hour increments because things just kept changing."
Case in point, they were told Isaac was too ill to travel. Ryan went to work, was called back to the hospital a few hours later. By evening, Isaac and mother Alona were on a medical plane bound for Stanford in California, which, though frightening, also gave hope Isaac would get the help he needed, but not without disappointments.
I got tested to see if I can be a living donor for my son, but I was so sad and disappointed and I wasn't a match. There was no way I could help him.
So after 7 days of waiting and 3 donor options discussed, they finally got the call. A donor had been found. Surgery was finally scheduled, but then delayed due to legal issues with the donor. Then, just as miracles sometimes happen, the surgeon came in to tell the Bondocs that an 8-year-old liver from Arizona was on its way as the best option for Isaac. Isaac's surgery took 2 hours, and his road to recovery, though extremely challenging, has forced the family to adopt a new normal, equipped with a deeper appreciation for the time they have together.
He gave me bacon.
Did?
When I was taking my meds.
Whoa.
That counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That counts.
Isaac's regimen of medications help him, but also leave him with a low immune system. So even when things go right and they receive blessings like a Make-A-Wish Foundation family trip, they can change at any moment. Just since this past cold flu season started, Isaac has already had earaches, strep throat, pneumonia, and the flu, twice. Before he can receive medicines, he must undergo tests and x-rays to ensure he gets the exact and correct medication. Some of the tests and procedures were postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic, so the family did what they normally do when hit with life challenges. They made a plan and did their best to get on with life. With school out, family life has become more eventful. Olivia, Isaac's older sister, who excels at everything, is smart, creative, loves school, and singing in her church choir. Isaac is still strong-willed, smart, courageous, and loves to keep his parents on their toes. They are enjoying doing things as a family and spending more time together. But even under the best safety and preventive measures, reality kicks in. In preparation for one of the postponed procedures, Isaac had to undergo COVID-19 testing last Friday. Waiting for the results is not easy, but this family has had to learn to live with the roller coaster-like ups and downs real life serves up, and has mastered making family time special time. Praying Isaac and the Bondoc family receives good news tomorrow. In Phoenix, Arizona, Lisa DeSena, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Wow. Talk about having to get used to a new normal. As you mentioned, you were just, a year and a half ago, you had to adjust to a new normal, and then now here's another new normal. So Isaac had to be tested for COVID-19, and you'll get the results tomorrow. Is that correct?
That's correct. The procedures that he needed to undergo in order to figure out what's wrong with his cough and him throwing up was postponed because of the lockdown in Arizona. But the last few days, it has been a little bit severe, so the doctors asked permission from the hospital to see if he can go ahead and come in for the EGD and a bronchoscopy. They got the approval, but they needed to go ahead and give him a COVID-19 testing, not only for his safety, but the safety of the doctors and the nursing staff there.
Yeah, that's a lot. To think about. What's going through your minds right now as you're waiting?
It's a little bit scary, right? Because we don't want to bring Isaac to a place where there's other sick individuals around, right? He can catch anything. Somebody can walk by him and he'll catch it, right? So it is a little bit scary. But in order to look forward and to be able to help him with some of the issues that's been going on, we knew this was the right choice that we had to make in order to help him out.
Right. How's he doing right now?
He's doing okay. Just a little bit of a cough that he can't shake. He's had it since the end of November of last year. And then, so he got new medication because of that. But the cough is okay, but now he's been throwing up a lot, not keeping his food down. So that's a little bit concerning for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, we hope that, thankfully that he's able to get this test in a couple of days, and hopefully, as you're waiting, that he feels better in the meantime. So overall, what cherished thoughts or life lessons would you say you gained from this whole transplant experience?
Well, just keep pushing forward, looking forward. We are active members in our church, so we have a strong faith, and we rely on God, and whatever the plan He has for us, we accept and we just move forward with it. So, but we don't let it stop us from living life. I think that's an important thing we all have to cherish and understand, is that things happen in life, but you don't want it to ever just slow you down in actually living life. Even though I got a little misty-eyed during the that video, because things can change, and you never know what can happen. We may not have a full. I don't want to say that, but it's a possibility. Thinking not just COVID-19, but also future possible transplant or issues with his liver. So we tend to put that in the back of our mind, and we enjoy the time that we have with him now. That's the best we can say.
Yeah.
Right.
You mentioned, you got misty-eyed. I'm trying to, because I'm a mother myself, and to have a child, and he was only 7, to go through that, you must have had a conversation before, when it first happened. What are some of those conversations that you've had? Like, you have another child, you have a daughter as well. Talk us through, what kind of things did you decide as a couple, how much you're going to share with them, and what conversations will you have with them?
I think with Isaac,
we had to be real upfront and realistic with him. We couldn't sugarcoat anything with him. There was a point when he was in the hospital, and the hospital was great. They gave him toys, and he had Legos, he had Xbox wheeled in for him. But there was a point he just wanted to go home, and at that point we had to really explain to him, be honest with him. It's like batteries in your toys. Your batteries are not working, and we have to get new batteries for you. And the expectation is you got to listen to the doctors. We have to take the medicine, because that was the hardest thing, to try to get a 7-year-old to take medicine. That was probably one of the biggest challenges that we had. But as you can see from the video, he's taking it now. He's on pills now. So it's been much more helpful. But he has grown so much in the past year and a half, I would have to say, because of this, and just made him a stronger, more resilient kid.
He does struggle a little bit. Sometimes he'll say, I wish I was a regular kid where I can eat all the time, any time of the day. That doesn't matter. But he understands the reason why he has to go get blood draws or things like that. He's very resilient and happy that he's able to get a new liver.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. And, you know, for him, so you see that he's stronger. It made him stronger, this whole experience. Now, what about your daughter, Olivia? How much older is she from him? And how is she dealing?
She's about 2 years older. It's a great question. She's a great big sister for sure. She definitely keeps us on track, sometimes a little too much more than I would want her to be. Because I want her to be a kid. I don't want her to worry about the things that we have to worry about and take care of Isaac. That's our job. But she does, you can see the motherly instincts in her to take, and as an ate, or older sister, that she, watches out for him and makes sure he's not eating what he's not supposed to eat, or he's taking his medicine at the times he's supposed to. Things like that. One thing I did notice about my daughter is that she has become more empathetic to other kids that are critically ill children as well. Going through this process, we've joined several different networks in our state. We took advantage of some of the great activities that they've held for kids of critically ill children, or parents of critically ill families, I should say. And she's got to hang out with a lot of them. Make friends with them, and I think she's more empathetic now to those, children that may be going through the same struggles.
Oh, that's really nice. That's, that you see her probably growing faster too, right before your eyes. And that's good that you mentioned, some support, because of, to our viewers who may be experiencing, the same thing. So can you tell us about, a couple of those, maybe those organizations that you mentioned that they can reach out to?
Sure. Locally in Arizona, they have an organization called Hope Kids, which holds free events around the valley for critically ill families, so that it's a safe place and everybody has that same understanding that they can go there, be safe, and have fun. There's also other organizations in the valley that we belong to. Excuse me. It's Hearts of Hope Network, and that is a national organization. They assist with any financial needs that families may need as well.
Make a Wish, also another great foundation.
Now that Isaac was blessed with the wish, we are considered a wish family. So their organization has been very helpful and gives us hope and love when we need it.
Yeah. And it's good to know, there's other families out there. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
There's a network of other families out there that are also going through these type of challenges in their life. And the best thing is that they're all positive. It's we've met with families where I couldn't believe the struggle that they were going through. Their son was having a brain tumor removed, and I mean, his days were, from her point of view, sound bleak. But the kind of attitude that these parents have is, that's one thing we learned going through this, is that you just got to press forward, and you have to be optimistic, and you have to be happy. You can't let it get down on you, because your kid needs that.
Yeah.
Right.
They cannot.
I mean, we see so many stories of, children being so resilient and actually be the ones to let their parents know, to be strong, right?
Yes,
I'm sure you've seen that in Isaac. Now, going back to this new, I mentioned earlier, you were getting used to your new normal, and then now COVID-19 hits, and it's again a new normal for you. How are you guys dealing with all of that as a family?
So we've been living that, washing your hands, wearing a mask, we'd be keeping everything clean for probably like the last year and a half. So we were totally fine with that.
We're actually enjoying it, actually. We like seeing people walk around with masks. We're not worried about, affecting our son or anything like that. But yeah, it's like about time everyone should wear some masks.
What's funny is Isaac said to us, he goes, look, Mom, everybody's wearing masks now. They're just like me.
Just like him.
It kind of makes them feel a little bit comfortable.
Oh, that's really nice. Say that's something really positive came out of it. It gives him comfort.
Yep.
So what are some of the things that, that you guys are doing at home to keep you busy and have the kids engaged?
Wow, where do we start? We're running out of tricks, honestly. We've dug in their closets of old past gifts and toys that they haven't opened up yet, going through those. Monopoly we picked up. We thought that was going to be helpful for the math part because obviously the kids are out of school. Nerf gun battles, try to keep them fit, healthy, and active, even though we're stuck in the house. And
the weather's getting a little bit hot right now, so today we pulled out the water toys, so to keep them outside, away from electronics.
Yeah.
Enjoy some sun.
Another positive thing from this is that families are spending more time together, actually doing things together, as opposed to just being on our gadgets. So, finally, even before this pandemic and maybe before the transplant, as a family, what are some of the things that you probably feel that you took for granted before?
I think taking the time to spend with the child individually rather than doing everything together, because both kids are totally different, right? Day and night. So I think this time it allows us to spend more individual time with each of our kids.
And with each other. Being home, the commute's been better. I mean, obviously, there's no traffic really that much anymore. So we get home in an earlier time frame. I'm on like slightly flex hours, so I can come home earlier and leave a little bit later. So that's been a blessing.
To be able to eat together at the same time.
Yeah. You get caught in the rat race, and you just kind of forget about the small things that are important in life. And that's probably the best thing that I could ever say is that going through these challenges is like it helps you kind of hone in what's important in life. It's very short, and so you got to prioritize those properly.
Right. I mean, you mentioned traffic and all the things, the little things that took much of our time before, and as parents, as I mentioned, we probably barely had time to really sit down as a family, and even as you mentioned, taking that time to talk to your children as individuals, because there are, one can be so different from another, and their needs can be different. So, self-reflection, right? We've probably learned so much, and you've shared so much already. What are, last words that you've learned, reflected upon during this time?
That every day is not a given, so enjoy each other. Take the time to maybe just relax and not have to worry about other things. Just worry about what's in front of you.
Yeah. And take this time to reach out to those you haven't reached out to in a long time too. Yeah. Sometimes a quick text message. We've gotten some random text messages from people that we've heard from, just checking in. Yeah. Those go a long way if you haven't heard from somebody for quite some time, because you get busy. Old friends, old associates, classmates, reach out to them. They'll appreciate it. A simple text can make someone's day. And those are the things that are important nowadays. The more that we're getting isolated and put on these, stay at home and socializing aspect of it, take advantage of that.
Yeah,
reaching out
that is so true. Our conversations, even through just social media, has become more meaningful with those who are close to us. Well, thank you guys for sharing your journey with us. It's truly an inspiration. We hope that it gives more hope to families who may be, experiencing the same thing that you guys are. And we hope for the best for Isaac tomorrow. Hope you receive good news.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Oh, wait, I do have one question that I wanted to ask earlier, because he probably has multiple medications that he has to take, and that's part of, having had the transplant. What kind of things are you doing that makes it easier for him?
So we've mixed it. He'll take it with apple juice, and then washes his palate with water. We used to crush his pills and put it in ice cream or
And
yogurt.
He has every Lego in Target.
Yes.
Every Lego.
Yeah.
So we've been bribed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, as you know, he's an advocate for himself. He's like, one day he's like, I want to go ahead and take pills, Mom. I'm a big boy. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
That was cool.
So he takes his pills like a champ.
Yep.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's good. That's good. Well, we hope for the good news tomorrow. And thank you for Alona and Ryan for joining us.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
You guys take care.
You
Thank
too.
you.